Hey, knock it off. Knock it off. Quit. Oscar, quit. Anyway, so they're made out of meat. I was taking a look at some of your discussions on Blackboard, particularly with the film analysis that we did. And we're still, I can tell we still need some examples of the semiotic method, particularly the so what factor. The so what factor is the one that is really kind of tough to grasp. So what I've done is I went last night through They're Made Out of Meat, the video. I watched it and I wrote down some signs that I thought we could use for practicing the semiotic method. So here's the first one, the misfit clothing. Now, when you watch the video, you'll notice that the two alien characters, one of them is wearing like a marching band suit. Some of you described it as a Pope outfit. It's actually like a marching band sort of thing with a fez. It's really weird. And the other guy is wearing like a black suit, but it's misfitted. You'll notice it. The way it hangs on him is kind of strange. So that's a sign, the misfitted clothing. Why are these aliens wearing this strange clothing that's out of place, right? So here's the significance. I thought about the significance. It shows how everything about human culture is an artificial construct, right? Why isn't it appropriate for that guy to wear a band suit to that diner? Well, you know, because you're immersed within the culture. You live in this area. You know what's approved clothing for what setting and what isn't. But an alien wouldn't necessarily know that. So what's the point? The point is all of this stuff is constructed. It's arbitrary, right? It's decided upon by people in the culture and then just sort of arbitrarily agreed upon, and people just, they know that this is the proper type of clothing for a given situation, right? So the significance shows how human culture is an artificial construct. And so what? So it prompts the viewers to be more understanding of social differences. If you know that everything is an artificial construct, then you know to be more tolerant of people who have different practices, right? Because those different practices are an artificial product of their culture, just like all of our practices are an artificial product of our culture. So the so what is we can use this to inform our own perspective about how we treat other people and other traditions and cultures. Okay, sign, meat. The repetition of the word meat, also the featuring of hamburgers and other types of meat throughout the video. So that's our sign. What does that mean? Well, when we say meat, we don't ever, like when you refer to parts of your body, you don't refer to it as, this is my elbow meat right here. You refer to it as your flesh, right? So the word meat carries context of like food, animals, animal production, okay? So what the meat then does is it emphasizes the animalistic or primitive side of humanity, okay? Because if we're meat, then we're not much different than deer or elk or, gorillas, what have you. So the meat then reveals the animalistic or primitive side of the human culture, species. So what's the so what? So it undermines common assumptions about human superiority in modern people. A lot of people tend to believe that humans are superior to every other organism. They are separate from animals. They don't count as animals. But to use the word meat to describe them sort of deconstructs that, right? And so it kind of calls our own assumptions about how important we are into view. I apologize for Mr. Goldman. I'll probably still post this video, but I wouldn't blame you if you couldn't get through it. Okay, so the House of Cards. At the end of the short film, there's a guy building a house of cards. Okay, and so what does that mean, right? What is a house of cards? Well, the House of Cards, it demonstrates the trivial nature of human endeavors. How much of what you are doing is a house of cards, right? You're working towards something. You're working towards having a certain life, having a certain reality. Maybe you do things in your spare time that are sort of trivial. You get on social media, you play video games. There's a way of thinking of human activity as sort of trivial, a lot of it. A lot of it really is kind of meaningless. And we just kind of do stuff to amuse ourselves or just because. And this would look very strange to an alien, especially if the alien were very practically minded. So what's the so what there? Well, It prompts readers to examine their own personal and socially prescribed priorities. What in your life is a house of cards, right? Is there anything that you could be doing that would be more valuable than other things that you're doing? And how would someone who was of a different mindset, maybe a totally practical mindset, maybe of an otherworldly mindset, how would they see your behavior, right? It creates a certain amount of self-reflection in the viewer. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this film. There's a lot going on in this film. There are a lot of subtle details. And it's very weird and very strange, but at the end of the day, I think we can get out a lot of meaning from it. So hopefully this has helped some with the semiotic method. The big thing is the so what. The so what is context. Think about context. What's the context of the diner? What's the context of the human attitudes towards aliens, towards themselves? You know, what's the context of UFOs in general? Maybe somebody brought up the diner as a sign from the 1950s. I really liked that. So be thinking about this stuff. You know, we're just practicing as we go along. So if you didn't get it necessarily down in the discussion post, hopefully in the future it's going to make that click. And once we got semiotics down, you'll be in really good shape for Essay 3. So sorry for the interruption. Oscar's a bit of a ham. You know, gotta love him.